Rajni, what's wrong?
Tom, I have a script and I don't know what to do with it. Should I burn it? Feed it to my cat?
You need some writers group therapy.
Hello and welcome to Writers Group Therapy.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Roshni. We're writers helping writers. Are you ready for your session? Because the doctors are in. So we were having an interesting discussion, I think because we just finished Reclamation after 2 years and we're beginning to put it in festivals. But shorts that become features, do you need to have a proof of concept or a short film if you want to make a feature film out of it? And what do you put in it?
Well, you don't have to. If you have a really good script and you can get it in front of the right people, people will like the script and want to make the movie. But for you and I, especially, getting in front of people is one of the biggest, hardest, things you have to do is trying to get in front of people. So doing a short film and getting into film festivals or getting, exposure online, going viral, can get that story and that concept in front of more people, and then somebody sees the genius of it, I guess, and reaches out to you and wants to make it into something bigger.
I think too, you kind of need to, because especially now with things like YouTube and all the streaming services, and there's so much content out there, people kind of need to visualize something. And people don't really have time to read a 20-page, 120-page script. So they kind of want something quick that they can see and go, oh yeah, I get that concept within 5 minutes of watching it.
Right. I mean, well, South Park started as a animated Christmas, card that was sent out as a joke. Just something that simple can lead to something that big.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We were talking about it. In fact, I know you did a ton of research and you looked at all those shorts that ended up becoming stuff. It was funny because we were talking about, particularly that I know of, Zoolander, Napoleon Dynamite, and Whiplash. And two of those, I haven't seen the Whiplash one, but two of those weren't even, they didn't even have a plot. Zoolander and Napoleon Dynamite didn't even have a plot. They were just random slice of life films.
Well, characters, if you can show someone a really interesting character, then they'll make a movie of it. It's kind of like Deadpool, the new Deadpool movie's coming out soon. He did some really funny little shorts. They'd already, I think, decided to make the movie, but the character, nobody knew who he was. I mean, Deadpool was kind of unknown to, the mass market, and comic book people knew him. But they did these funny little videos, and the character was just screwing around, and he was just so interesting and compelling that the movie was a huge hit. So, and that's kind of a case of marketing using short videos, but it's the same idea. If you have a character that people can, laugh about or get interested in, then that can help just sell the movie itself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, totally unrelated to shorts, although kind of. Have you seen the new Deadpool? It's called Ashes. It's by Celine Dion. It's the new song featured in the movie. Have you seen the video for it?
I just read about it. I haven't heard it yet, but I read about it, yeah.
Oh, watch the video. It is hilarious. And it's so on point for the character as well, especially once you get to the ending. And I was cracking up. I was on the floor. It was great.
SciFi is they often use a proof of concept short video to get stuff done. Stephen, Robbie Amell, the actor brothers who've been on the with the CW's Legends of Tomorrow and the Arrow film for the Green Arrow, or the TV show Arrow. They put out a short sci-fi video that they then crowdfunded $2 million to make a sci-fi movie with. So even established people who have been on big shows, they still go out and make short videos to sell their ideas.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think you sort of have to now, just because there's so much noise out there, and because people don't want to take the time to read something. It's a lot easier to just send them a link and they can watch it while they're eating dinner or something. And it's probably also a good way to just get excitement from other people, not just, people funding it, but other actors who are like, oh, I can see myself playing that character, or, because it is a collaborative thing.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about, particularly with the Zoolander one, that was early on in Ben Stiller's producing and directing career.
Mm-hmm.
So he was still kind of an up-and-comer, supporting roles, things like that. And then kind kind of maybe the timing of it as well. You said he did something about Mary, and that put him in the
Hmm.
leading man category. But Zoolander also helped, having that little short where he's like, "Look, I can play a really funny leading man."
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of other actors that have done that. You mentioned Whiplash. That was interesting because they did a comparison of that side by side from the short and then what was actually filmed for the movie. This one scene that the short film takes place in the band room with the drummer and everything, and it's a really emotional scene. And that actor, then got replaced for the movie, so I kind of felt bad for him because the actor who played the character in the short didn't get the role in the feature film. Oops, sorry.
Oh, you mean they replaced the guy that Miles Teller
I think
plays?
so. I don't think it was the same character. It wasn't the same
Oh,
actor.
okay.
No,
Huh.
I'd have.
Like I said, I haven't seen that particular short.
Yeah, no, it was a different young actor. But the scene is actually remarkably the same. That was
I was going to say, isn't that one pretty much right from the script?
it is. It is almost like watching watching it just being done twice exactly the same. They show them side by side actually on YouTube somewhere.
Huh. Which is an interesting point then also. For example, when we shot Reclamation, that is a story that has a beginning, middle, and end. But a lot of these kind of proof of concept shorts, and again, it kind of depends on what you're trying to do with the film, they don't necessarily have plots. They might have really compelling characters, or it's a really intense scene like the Whiplash scene, but there's no plot.
Yeah.
And so you're like, what am I watching in terms of story? So it kind of depends. If you're going to do a short, what do you film? How do you get in front of the right people? Because you can't really submit a short that has no plot to a film festival, maybe.
You can submit anything to a film festival.
Well, okay, fair enough,
But
but
yeah, but they range, like you said, they range from this horrible black and white, looks like security cam video for Napoleon Dynamite, up to Neil Bocamp's short that they based the movie District 9 on. Where he had incredible visual effects and costuming and aliens, and there's quite a range of what people are willing to do to make these short films. One of my favorites was The Punisher. After the first Punisher movie came out with Thomas Jane as the Punisher character, Frank Castle, did pretty well. But it took a long time to make a sequel, and then they recast the character, and it didn't turn out as well. And so Thomas Jane and this group made a short film where Frank Castle goes to do his laundry at a laundromat, and then this gunfight breaks out, and it gets all action movie kind of stuff, and it's like a 10-minute short. It was pretty exciting, and it was kind of a fan fiction kind of thing, but with the actor who played the character in the previous film, pretty big actor, and I guess they were hoping to get people excited to make another movie using him, kind of, and the style was really great. It was really well done. I mean, it was very cinematic, but it was just done for, as a promotional kind of like, hey, look at this cool thing we could do. Didn't get the result they wanted though, but it got a lot of views.
which then kind of begs the question, if you are filming a short that's part of a bigger project and you want to get it in festivals or get it in front of the right people to fund it, what would make it pop? What would make it memorable? Because if you're going to shoot it black and white grainy security cam footage versus stylized, no expenses spared, that's quite the range.
Yeah, I honestly, I think it all depends on what your content is and who your audience is. Now, I want to warn people, because this Thomas Jane thing with for the Punisher, that's a licensed character. Fan stuff isn't going to work for you, because you can't take it to film festivals because it's copyrighted. You have to own the rights to anything you do at a film festival. But then as far as what you do, it all depends on what you're able to creatively come up with that can tell a story in a short amount of time, but really show off your talents as a filmmaker and a writer, and really impress people. I don't know, content can be anything. It's really whatever you can come up with and you can afford, I guess.
I think strong characters, it goes back to that, compelling characters versus something. You don't need a huge budget. You don't need special effects and crazy things. As long as it's people that we care about, stories that we can kind of relate to, even if they are a little off the beaten path, as long as they're fun and they're compelling, I think that's what would get people's eyes on it.
pretty much just kind of like describing what a viral video is. It's something, it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be super well made, but it has to be engaging. And if something's going to generate that kind of response on just like a viral video, with like millions of views, then people are going to pay attention and they're going to see the potential in your concept and hopefully contact you and want to make it into a movie.
Yep. So how about for you guys? What are some of your favorite short films? Tweet it at us at WG Therapy. You can also find us online at writersgrouptherapy.com. And if you like what you hear, subscribe and share it with your friends. We'll see you next week.